Picking up where we left off, growing frustration tonight about the actions of federal agents in our state as they go about immigration enforcement. The story we had earlier, just one of many, raising serious questions about how this is going down. Kent talked to observers and a national security expert about what they're seeing.
Minnesotans who observe and document ICE and Border Patrol operations have reported more and more close calls in recent days.
They tried to chase us off the road the other day. We dialed 911, and that's when they left in a hurry. Why would you do that if what you're doing is legal?
Chelsea Kane and Courtney Azar are sisters and Army combat veterans who began observing federal agents after Renee Good was shot and killed. In the past few days, they say they've also witnessed more people arrested or detained.
They just dropped the citizen that they picked up,
only to be driven around and then released somewhere else.
That's the thing that we have seen more and more is they're doing random arrests. They're not doing warranted searches. They're not doing warranted arrests. They're not going after illegals. They're going after anyone who looks like an other.
What we're seeing now is certainly an escalation point in Minneapolis.
Julia Ainsley, senior Homeland Security correspondent for NBC News, says the addition of hundreds of Border Patrol agents is a big part of it, pointing to a Supreme Court brief issued this summer that gave them wide latitude to stop and detain people based on their apparent ethnicity.
So that really opened up where ICE and Border Patrol could go make their arrests. They could really start basically profiling on a whole different level.
Ainsley says recent videos also appear to show federal response to observers now seems to be also growing more aggressive.
And rather than pulling back operations, they are going even more full force.
And she says the threats and aggression towards those following and documenting them is likely the next battleground in court.
Obstruction of a federal operation can be an arresting offense. The question is where that line is drawn. If you are back at a distance filming something on your phone, that should be protected. I guess it's this line of whether or not they're getting in the way and actually impeding an arrest.
I'm staying out of the way. I'm not impeding them. I'm behind them. I'm giving them a wide berth.
And even if federal agents see it differently and respond with force, they both say they won't be deterred.
We've been in combat. We're cool under pressure. We have the training to de-escalate, so that's what we do. We're going to keep going out. We're going to keep documenting them to keep our neighbors safe, to keep that aggression from increasing. We're simply following. We're simply recording and documenting. We're providing all of this information to law enforcement. If it is illegal, then the state will come for me. I completely stand by everything that I'm doing. I'm observing. I'm there to make sure that our community is remaining safe, and I intend to do that for as long as ICE is here.
Now, the documentation of observers and protesters could end up playing a role in court. Minnesota and Illinois both announcing today lawsuits against the federal government, claiming the agents are violating state sovereignty under the 10th Amendment, and Attorney General Ellison adding that people are being profiled, harassed, terrorized, and assaulted. Accusations, of course, that will need to come with evidence. Jana.
Yeah, so many videos out there that we're all going through trying to corroborate everything. But what's interesting in your story is what I heard from the couple that was arrested. It's that they said they're there documenting and they're not getting in the way. And that line that Julia talked about is we don't know where it is.
Right, and that can be a gray area, especially in circumstances like this. And keep in mind, there have been cases, in Illinois as well, where people are arrested, but then they're later released without charges.
Right.
So it might tell you something there, but at the end of the day, they're still having that confrontation, right?
Right, and that's what happened to the couple in my case, released without charges. Thanks so much, Kent. We'll be right back.